All right, San Carlos, my nearest, well, my favorite diving destination near Phoenix. It's a beautiful beach little town, about a 6-hour drive from Phoenix if you go fast. If you go the speed limit, maybe about 8. And San Carlos is just amazingly beautiful. And you can see straight in front we have the Tutakawi, which in the Yaqui language means the tits of the sheep. So it's the sheep tits mountain. Pretty descriptive, but it's pretty neat. There's a few climbing routes up there. Haven't had the chance to go up and explore it. Haven't been able to find a climbing buddy down here, but I've seen some really cool videos of people going up there. Then behind the mountains here on our right is an oasis, so you can either forward drive back there or you can hike around them, and it's pretty neat as well. Nice little oasis in the middle of the desert. Also a bunch of manglars, I think that's what you call them, where I've done a little bit of manglar diving there, and I've seen little baby sharks, lots of little tiny manta rays, baby manta rays, all kinds of little baby fish that apparently all the fish like to go and lay their eggs in there, reproduce, and then they're saved from the bigger fish because they can't go in there. It's pretty shallow, only about maybe 5 meters at the most, so all the big fish can't come in there and eat the young ones. So beautiful area. There's also a delfinario, which I guess it translates to a dolphin place, and a couple of really good dive shops that I like, and really quite the nice little tourist town. And I might camp out for the night here and then keep on going after that, but it's pretty early, so we'll see how cold the beer is here. And if anybody's a diver and comes on down here, come to El Mar Diving Center right over here. Those guys are awesome. They always took good care of me, always gave me a good discount coming back, and they know all the good diving spots. There's a boat called the Poseidon, actually, that sank about 55-60 feet. So even with an open water permit, you can still get to it as long as you're with a dive master. And it's pretty neat. It only sank about, I think, less than 10 years ago, probably about 7 years ago, and it's still pretty intact. There's still lots of stuff in there. Really, really nice, really clear water where it sank, and it's a fairly modern ship, so really cool place to see. Nightclubs are here to our right, and the bowling alley, and then the rich part of town starts over here as you get closer to the Titakawi. So there's some amazing, beautiful beach houses up on that hill, and the marina, and the whole area just is beautiful. Summer gets really hot here. It's the same temperatures as Phoenix, except for it being a beach town. The humidity is unbearable in the summer, but the water temperatures, even after March, are already really, really good, really nice place to come and just take a dip in the water. It's a kind of a bay, so the waves never get really too tall, and the seafood here is just amazing. The only problem with it is it's so close to the US border that the prices have pretty much matched, for the most part, US prices. So land's expensive, food's expensive, labor is expensive here, even if you just want to come and buy your land and make your own place, and all of that with a fairly sizable expat community here. You pretty much can't walk into any shop without everything being written in English, and everybody speaks English here. Lots of Canadians, a few Quebecois, and I believe right past this area is where they filmed the movie Catch 22, where they're supposed to be in Algeria or someplace in North Africa. So we're headed out to that part. We'll drive past it, which is all nice hotels and everything now. It's been developed. They filmed that movie, I guess, 40 years ago, or maybe longer than that. But that's the claim to fame in this part of town. And there's some beautiful houses up here, just amazing. Wish I had the money to retire up here. Maybe I'll still do that, but some beautiful places up in this area. And there's climbing, diving, parasailing, hiking, boating, skiing, whatever you want to do. And if you really need to go shopping, the States is only 6 hours away. So right now we're going to turn to the side of Titakawi, and from here it's all new neighborhoods. Unfortunately, they've now decided to make everything US style, so we're going to pull up to some neighborhoods that could have been just plucked out of Florida or something like that. Gone are the multicolored houses with different architecture and the folklore of Mexico. It's all stucco Arizona style, cookie cutter galore, suburbia feel. But I guess that's what people like, so I much prefer the older parts of town with the folklore, the color, the variety, and of course no homeowners association to tell you how to live. But such is life, and that's the way I guess the world is going. But there's some really neat condos up there on that hill. Had a chance to go up there and look at them. They're only $750,000. Well, that was a couple of years ago. For a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a nice balcony, shared pool, and all the amenities. That place is just amazing. There's another marina up here to our left, and a big fancy hotel coming up. But where we're headed is past where the tarmac ends, and there's a fisherman's village where there's a very, very good little fisherman's restaurant. Not expensive, and absolutely amazingly delicious. So this beach over here is called Algodones, which means cottons, and you can actually walk from the beach over to those two little islands that are connected there. It's a great little diving spot for shallow diving if you just want to see some corals, some beautiful colorful fish. I've seen manta rays in there, some little reef sharks, and then up here there's an oasis, some sand dunes if you've got a quad. And this is the area where they filmed Catch-22. Actually, the end of the runway in the movie is where that tower is at. And when I was a kid, my dad would bring us up here, and there was of course no road. We'd have to go around the mountains here on the right in a Jeep and off-road all the way back here to this oasis. And we'd camp out here, have lunch, head on over to the beach, 4-wheel drive on the dunes, have a good time, and then head back into Guaymas. There was absolutely nothing out here at that time. That was only 15, 20 years ago. Now it's all hotels and fancy houses and a beautiful place. But if we go just a little bit further, it's still intact, and there's still fishermen villages. La Manga is actually where we're going. So if you ever make it down to St. Carlos, definitely go diving if you're certified. If not, there's some amazing nightlife, good beer, friendly people, and extremely good seafood. But if you do make it down here, don't be afraid of the dirt road I'm going to take. I've actually driven this one in a little Honda Accord. All you gotta do is go slowly. It's a graded dirt road, not a lot of sand or anything like that, and you get the best seafood at Mexican prices. So here we go, La Manga. The dirt road over here starts. I'll take the chance to turn off the ABS. And alright, good to go. So this is the end of the fancy homes and 5-star hotels. And it's actually quite beautiful this way. This land is what they called ejido, which is communal land, kind of a socialist idea, but it was born out of the revolution when the hacienda owners owned 95% of the land of Mexico, and so if you were a peasant, you had no choice but to work for them, and pretty much indentured servitude. So that was one of the main reasons for the revolution, was people wanted to have their own land and redistribute a little bit of the wealth. So born out of that was the ejido system, where the land was taken away from the huge landowners, and given to the community. So in order to live here, you have to be part of the community. In order to own land here, you have to be part of the community. Where it's agricultural areas, they share things like the tractors and the expenses, and they help each other. And in areas like this, where it's pretty much fishing and I guess maybe mining and things of that nature that would be out here, ecotourism and things like that, it's the same deal. So you can't buy any land up here, even if you are a Mexican citizen. You have to be part of this community to have the right to own land here. And they actually have the best beach spots. And since they're fishermen, they have the fresh catch of the day. And they got their little restaurant and their little village up here. It's quite peaceful. Not much up here, but a bunch of fishermen's houses and a few entrepreneurial people that started their own little restaurants for the tourists like me. So we're gonna hit up La Manga Dos, which is the one that I really like. It's nice and clean. You can see the catch of the day as you go in there, so you know everything's fresh, never been frozen or shipped anywhere, and it's just amazing seafood. Did I already say that? Getting hungry. It's good stuff. They have shellfish that is just been pulled out of the water not more than an hour ago, and it's still alive. So they crack the oysters or the clams or whatever they've gotten out of the sea that day, and put some lemon on it, and they're still twisting in there, still alive before you eat them. Oh, so delicious. No, it sounds disgusting, but if you're ever down here, do yourself a favor and try it. It's so amazingly tasty. So this is kind of a famous place for the Mexican tourists. Obviously we can't afford US seafood prices, so everybody comes down here. And oh boy, is it worth it. So this is it. Let's find a good spot for my motorcycle. And let's go have some food. I think I'll park it right in front. Yep, this is good. All right. Well, I'll leave you guys here. I'm gonna go eat some extremely yummy food and enjoy the view.